Roof is a German auto manufacturer that has been making some of the most incredible Porsche-based models for the last 50 years. Roof is not just a tuner, it's labeled as a constructor that builds its own cars from scratch using its own chassis, bodywork, and engines. Their most famous model was the 1987 CTR, also known as the Yellowbird, which was the fastest production car at the time, shattering the 200-mile-an-hour barrier by hitting 211 miles per hour. Roof and Gran Turismo have had a history together since 1999, when they were approached to include their vehicles into the Gran Turismo 2 game that was under development at the time. Roof served as a substitute for Porsche in Gran Turismo for many years because Porsche had an exclusive contract with EA that prevented other publishers from using its license. This contract expired in 2016, which allowed Porsche vehicles to be directly built into the future Gran Turismo games and led many players to believe that Roof was going to be excluded. But due to a mutual respect and admiration for each other, Roof vehicles continue to be added to the game. I'm hoping to see the original Yellowbird added back as well. The CTR3 that we see here is the only Roof vehicle that we have in the game right now, and it is a beast of a car that combines the best of Porsche and Roof engineering. It's not just a tuned-up Cayman, it's a custom creation that has its own chassis, bodywork, and engine, and it's also one of the fastest vehicles on the planet with a top speed of 236 miles per hour and a 0 to 60 time of 3.2 seconds. The first thing I noticed when I got inside the car was the diamond-stitched headliner. It's a nice touch that adds some luxury and contrast to the otherwise sporty cockpit. The dash is simple and elegant with a large tachometer and a digital speedometer. The center console has a few buttons and knobs and uses the radio as a rear view mirror. The CTR3 has two transmission options in real life, a 6-speed sequential rally-style manual, which is what we have in the game, or a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic, which we don't see. The engine is a masterpiece of engineering. It's a 3.8-liter twin-turbo flat-six that produces 690 horsepower and 656 foot-pounds of torque. It's based on the Porsche 911 turbo engine, but has been extensively modified by Roof to achieve such staggering numbers. The CTR is a rear-wheel drive vehicle, which means it could be tail-happy if you're not careful with the throttle. But in testing, and with the aerodynamics in place, the car felt very planted and didn't really step out unless I was being extremely aggressive at low speeds. The combination of the mid-engine layout with the Boxer engine makes the car feel very well balanced, and you can go fairly deep into the corners and use the brakes to help push some of that weight to the front wheels. The original price of the CTR3 was $725,000, and it had very few options. They only ended up producing 30 of the standard model and another 7 of the Club Sport model. The price we're seeing in Brand Central is $900,000, which may be due to the exclusivity of the vehicle. But let's go ahead and take this thing to Tokyo and see how it does on our lap. The CTR3 feels like a long car when you're driving it, and to mirror that, it's best suited for tracks that have long straights and sweeping turns. The car feels very stable and brakes extremely well. Its biggest challenge comes in getting through the tight hairpins, so it's not going to be very competitive on tight tracks. The fuel economy in the car is going to be your limiting factor. I was able to pull off 3 laps before going dry on our test here. The rear tires ended up wearing around 20%, with only around 1% wear at the front. This isn't too surprising with the rear-wheel drive nature of the vehicle and the 39 to 61 weight distribution on the vehicle as well due to the mid-engine layout. I don't expect to see any engine swaps coming for this car in the near future because Roof is really known for their engines, and their suspension and chassis quality is there as well, but the engine is one of the major draws for this brand. At 900,000 credits, it's not exactly affordable, and it's available in Brand Central, so there's no real sense of urgency in buying this car, and it's really not as agile as I'd like either. But with all of that being said, Roof is the brand that got Porsche into the game when EA still owned the rights, or at least, as close as we could get. So for that reason alone, I definitely think this is a car worth having in your garage. Even with this car being on my radar, I picked it up just recently, so you can get through the whole game without messing with it if you're not into it. But it is a car that's actually classified as a road car and gives you the feel of a race car, so you can kind of get away with something with it as well. We ended up crossing the line at 1 minute 51 seconds, .503, which put it right behind the engine swapped Supra and just in front of the Ferrari F40. So it's definitely a car that can hold its own. It just has a little bit of an issue in the corners. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please like and subscribe for more content like this.